Good afternoon and welcome to the next webinar related to the current COVID-19 situation. This is a weekly recurring event where we would like to update you, let's say, on a number of important things that happened during the past week and weeks. So on the agenda today, we would like to briefly say something, first of all, an update on the professional practices. Secondly, something on theses, not much. Also something on software you can use from a distance within the UGent context. And then finally also something on insurances. So let me first start like we do in the like we did in the previous webinars with a small presentation where I would like to show you a number of things. So to start with, just showed you the agenda already, but so in terms of insurance, so all people that have subscribed to the Marsh insurance, so the insurance scheme that you could opt for as in addition to your normal to enrollment. So all the Erasmus Mundus students, all the students that have a grant by default have this insurance. There has been a lot of questions posed, not only by our program, but by several programs. Okay, what happens if people are back in their home countries? Important on this is that currently there is kind of a notification that at least the first 4 weeks that you're at home, you're still covered, yeah. But actually, we're currently still finding out with the insurance company how this will go also in the future. And in this context, maybe important for you to know is that tomorrow morning we have a meeting with all the international master programs and joint master degree programs that are organized via Ghent University, and this is one of the main agenda points also on this meeting. So we hope that because this insurance is not something we discuss directly with the insurance company, so it's an insurance that was opted for by Ghent University, and so we hope by next week that we will have more details, let's say, on a longer term. Okay, what is still covered, what is not covered, let's say, and how this is all dealt with. Yeah, so that's a first point I would like that we wanted to communicate you. A few other things regarding the professional practices. So, if you log into your Matix to the Matix platform via the URL matix.imbrsea.eu, so no longer thesis.ugent.be, because we moved the Matix platform to a faster service, so it's easier to use. Is that you have currently the option available to deselect your current professional practice, yeah, and already select a new remote professional practice. No, if you're not going to continue with your current professional practice, it's important that you cancel your current professional practice, because else you cannot switch to one of the alternative professional practices we have designed for you. Next to that, for people that will stick to their original topic, yeah, you now have also the option to upload a confirmation statement, of which we have you received a template via email, so that was sent by Louisa earlier this week, but also on the website, for example, on the page for professional practice, you can also download this template. It's a template in which your supervisor has to indicate that he is able to supervise you in a correct and efficient way, and also that he is able to let you finish the professional practice within the foreseen time window. Just remember the deadlines. 15th of April, which is still almost 2 weeks from now, is the final deadline overall for making new selections, and then 6th of April, which is already next week on Monday, is actually the deadline for people that would like to delay their studies for 1 year. So if you wish to do so, you can go to your student pages, so via the eConsort platform, and there will be a form online. There is a form online where you can select. You can indicate that you wished, first of all, to stop your studies for 1 year, and secondly, also where you're able to select your mobilities, your preference for mobilities for the next semester. Note that we do this now, and I just want to repeat this, because we finished the applications, the second round of applications, just 2 days ago. So in total, we had around 77 applications that are eligible for further evaluation, so it's not a small group, and I just want to say that we want to take up the people that wish to postpone also in this group. So in terms of allocation of mobilities, this happens as early as possible in the whole process. Yeah. For theses, not much new things. I think most important thing is that we kind of would like to remind you to post your changes and updates on your original thesis plan on a regular basis. So do this also via the Matix platform. It's the tool is available there if you log in and you go to your dashboard. And also don't forget, in this context, that's more general, also to keep on updating the information on the Google form regarding your whereabouts, because we have to report actually on a very regular basis to different instances this information, and so we assume that the information that we find there is the correct information. There were some questions regarding library access, so that's why we thought it's not bad to inform you more general on a number of things. So everybody has a UGent login, as you know, both first year, second year students. And actually it's a tool that you should use as much as possible, because it gives you access, for example, to the Athena platform. So if you go to athena.ugent.be and you log in with your UGent details, yeah, you will see that you end up in a screen a bit similar to what you see here. So what happens is that you have access to a whole range of software tools that you can use from a distance, yeah, and you're also sure in this way that you have the correct licenses and that you use the correct licenses. Also, when you run these tools, they're also not requiring you to have a very high capacity computer, a personal computer, because it uses the power actually from the central service from Ghent University. This is all quite easy, but what is more important maybe is that you also have the possibility to open a software package, which you all know, Internet Explorer, so you can browse the internet actually via this virtual platform. And why is this interesting? Because virtually, if you use this, you will be virtually at least in the buildings of Ghent University. So you're within the network. So it means if you're browsing it like in a two-step way on the internet and you're searching for literature, yeah, automatically you will have access also to all the journals to which Ghent University is subscribed. So, and if you go there, for example, if you open Internet Explorer and you go to the Ghent University library website, there you will see, for example, if you click there, for example, on databases, yeah, you will see that you have access to a whole range of databases and immediately also full access to all the journals that we subscribe to. So Web of Science, Google Scholar, for example, are the two most used ones, let's say, at least in the field of marine biological resources. So use this way of browsing through the catalogs and also retrieving literature. Yeah. Also, I would like to remind you with your IMBRSea accounts that you have, you have actually full subscription to a whole range of Google tools, much more with much more options than, for example, via just a normal personal Google account. And there, the most interesting part, if you use Chrome as a browser, is that you log in into Chrome using actually the IMBRSea account. So that's what you see here. So here I'm logged in with my personal account, while here on this other Chrome browser, I'm logged in with my IMBRSea account. And as soon as I do this, for example, I immediately have access to a whole range of additional tools, which I don't have, of course, with my personal account. So the most interesting one there, especially in these periods, is the Meet, Google Meet a tool which we use also, for example, for our board meetings, and I can assure you that it's working in a very efficient way. Also, even if you want to do meetings with last year or 2 years ago when we actually opted in for this Google Educational Suite, we tested this with up to 70 people at the same time, and this worked actually very nicely. So even if you want to meet all the students of your cohort, you can use this tool as well. Yeah. In case you would need additional things, for example, additional software tools that are required by several people, please do not be scared to contact us so we can explore what is possible in this sense. Okay, so that's pretty much it so far in terms of the things we wanted to notify you. So, and I think we would like to take the opportunities, if there are any questions, to answer these questions. So feel free to use the chat box like in previous sessions to post your questions. Also, again, as you may have seen on the YouTube channel, we have posted all the COVID-19 webinars together in one collection, so that is easy accessible via the main page of the YouTube page of our program. And also, again, feel free to share this, for example, with parents or with thesis supervisors or whatever, so they can also see and see what has been decided. And so if people are not very sure on certain things, they can find the information there. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat box. There's not so many current viewers as I see it right now, but still you might have questions. Marion, hello. How many remote professional practices can we choose? Well, you will in the end only do one, but the easiest way is that it's like with a normal selection of the normal professional practices. So you can select, I think, up to 3 is without any problem. Any news about professional practice in Greece? Yes, we have been in contact with them, and we have been, so our latest email that we sent them actually indicating that they really have to go as far as possible in terms of refunding you. Yeah, we didn't receive any answer on that, but we're keeping on following up this. So indeed, this is confirmed now by Micheline that since our last email, which was sent early this week, we did not have heard anything back. Yeah. So we actually do not expect that they will make more changes to what has been currently proposed. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But we're trying to do our best to push it as far as possible. Marion, also you said the deadline for remote professional practice was the 15th of April, but on Matix, the starting date of some remote professional practices is the 4th of April. Does this mean that we need to write motivation before the 4th? No, that's simply that the ones that proposed the professional practices actually they just indicated the earliest starting date that was available in the form being the 4th of April, so nothing more than that. So nothing will start before the 15th of April, before or at least before the starting date after the selections have been made. Don't worry. So the 15th of April, we will not start anything new on professional practices, remote professional before that date. Yeah. If our supervisor stays the same for the professional practice, but the topic is changing, should we cancel in our current one in Matix and resubmit our topic, Morgan? I would honestly not cancel your current one and resubmit another topic, but I would so make use of the template that we have posted there and ask your supervisor to indicate there more clearly, okay, in what sense your topic has changed, and there is at least a reporting on that element as well. Isabel de Blok, if you stay with the same supervisor but to change the topic, do we still need to cancel your topic in Matix or only email you about the new details plus the statement doc? I just answered the same questions, I think, as the one of Morgan. Yeah, so use the form. Yeah, it's a Word document, so you can easily add sections, and so there the supervisor can indeed report further on, okay, what exactly will change in your case. Yeah. Marion Val, for students who are in Ghent, do you have any news of the grant? Actually, we tomorrow during the meeting we have with all the, it's the meeting with the international office. I think this is one of the things we have also posted on the agenda there. So if right, to see when we can expect news on the mobility grants, Erasmus mobility grants. Normally, Marion, within Ghent, the chances are very high that if you have submitted all your details correctly, that you will be awarded a mobility grant, because the number of grants we have available always matches or is more than the people that apply for such a grant. And I think, especially in the current situation, I don't see actually why we would have all of a sudden many more applications than in previous years. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I receive a message on this that normally the grants are awarded mid-May. So I think it's still 1 month and a half, Marion. So that's the update on this. Yeah. More questions? André, in case we choose our supervisor, thesis supervisor to do our professional practice, can't we use data analyzed during the professional practice in our thesis? André, in the previous years, we always actually communicated to students that a professional practice is really something different from a thesis. And there we want to stimulate people to do actually two different things. You can learn a technique, but it's totally not the aim that you collect already data for your thesis during your professional practice. During a professional practice, you learn a number of skills, you will do a number of things. You might learn skills that are useful for your thesis. That's all perfectly possible, but it's totally not the aim that you start already collecting data for your thesis later on. In this context, also important, is that your thesis is only approved in a later phase after your professional practice is done. So in this context, also every year we have quite a lot of theses that are not accepted as they are proposed. So even there, you're not sure. So I would not make a link between your professional practice and your thesis. Also see the professional practice as a time slot, a time period in where you learn different things, where you kind of broaden your view on what you want to do. So don't make the link. Marion, what about symposium? Do you have the program of it? Because it's optional for the first years. I wonder what will be there. Marion, right now, we don't have a full program yet. As soon as we have a program, we will share it with you, don't worry. The point is that we're still waiting for a number of confirmations from the Algarve in terms of room availability, and it's only when we have this, for example, that we can design further or detailed program. The point is that we only want to share the final program, and not early versions, because else those early versions also lead a known life in social media, for example, or in informal communication. So that's the whole point behind it. Okay, then we have a question from Melanie. I'm keeping my original professional practice in a remote format. However, there is a possibility to go to the research institute depending on the evolution of the situation in Italy. Is it possible to do it considering the insurance and guidelines? I don't know why it would not be possible, but there again, we require your supervisor there, and that's the whole reason why we ask for that additional document, is to ensure that from a health and safety point of view, that there is totally not any no risks at all. In this context also maybe important is that you're not assumed to break the rules as they're stipulated at the national and international level. So for example, if there remains a negative travel advice, for example, but your supervisor says, you're willing to, you're welcome here in our institute, of course, the official travel advices have priority on what your supervisor is saying. So so Melanie, if things are evolving in a correct way, no problem that in a good way, for example, no problem that you go there, but keep in mind that your supervisor here then takes the full responsibility for allowing you to do so. Let's see if more questions are coming. Yes. Last week you said that personalized forms for reimbursement of symposium tickets can be downloaded from documents for download, but I cannot see it yet. No, I said that there will be 2 letters available for download, and they are available on the section. So it's not forms for downloading things, but it's 2 letters that we have designed that you may be able to use in order to get refunds potentially from tickets. So it's not that as a program we will refund your symposium tickets, totally not. But hopefully you can use those documents, which are personalized documents. So your names are mentioned in, and they are signed by me, and you can download them from your student pages at eConsort. So the documents are available there in a different section than the document for download. We made a different tab in that form where you can actually find the documents. If you don't find them there, please let us then know with a personal email to us so we can try to find out. Let's say if this is a personal thing or whether it's a more general problem that people don't find the information. Okay. So if there are no more urgent burning questions, then next webinar is planned next week, same time. we advise you to come back there. There's a question that came on from Isabel. Earlier you said that a lot of the master thesis proposals get rejected. How can we make sure that it doesn't happen, and what we do if it does happen? Is there a new deadline to search a different one? Yeah, so what happens, Isabel, don't worry too much on this statement, is that when we review all the thesis proposals, yeah, a lot of them actually do not have, for example, a good work plan, do not have a good, well-designed timeline, and that they're rejected and they're sent back to the students and their supervisors in order to ask them to update a whole series of extra things. Yeah. If this is done correctly, for example, then in most cases the reviewed thesis proposals are indeed accepted. But let's say this whole process can take up to several months. You indeed receive new deadlines. You receive advice. For some theses, we also simply say, when we read and we see it's not feasibility from a safety point of view, or simply a scientific feasibility after checking also with the supervisor, we give the negative advice on the thesis. But that's of course a minority. But there's quite a lot where we ask for additional input. So the advice here could be, try to have as much as possible, information in terms of as much as possible information as it is requested. Arnaud Boulanger, regarding the cancellation letter for the professional practice, it's written text annual symposium, and the dates are also the one from the symposium. I will update this letter because I made the two letters. It's strange, apparently they're not uploaded to the correct list. Yeah, good that you mentioned me. You're the first one that mentioned it, so not that many people have already looked into this, apparently. Yeah. So this will be done this afternoon. Okay, I think we can, looking at the fact that there are not really many questions, I think we can close this webinar here. So as soon as there are updates, we will let you know. Still, same request as for last week, for example. If you have interesting things you wish to share with the community during these webinars, feel free to send us so we can also include it in the webinar. So I hope the information that we spread today was useful, and let me close again, like in previous webinars, by just saying, okay, keep everything safe and keep up with the good work, and hopefully see you next week. Bye bye. Have a nice day.